Ms. Vance, you're awake. Try not to move too much. A nurse in light blue scrubs is by my side, her face a mask of professional calm, but her eyes betray a flicker of something else, pity, maybe. I blink, my vision swimming, trying to piece together the fragments of memory that arise slowly, painfully, reassembling themselves in my mind. I wasn't in a hospital. I was at the Charity Gala. The annual Whitmore Foundation Gala. The grand ballroom had glittered with 1,000 crystals and even more fake smiles. I was standing near the champagne fountain, a glass held so tightly in my hand I thought the stem might snap. The dress I was wearing, a deep emerald green that I knew matched my eyes, felt like a cage. And then I saw them. Liam Whitmore, my husband, a man who looked at me with the same detached courtesy he'd offer a piece of antique furniture he was obligated to keep, was laughing. Not his usual polite, strained laugh, but a genuine, full-throated laugh that lit up his entire face. He was leaning in close, a hand on the small of a woman's back. The woman was Claire. Claire Davis. The woman who, according to all the tabloids and our own family's whispered secrets, was his one true love. The woman he had been forced to break up with by his father, the powerful patriarch of the Whitmore dynasty, to Ma Rry me, Elena Vance, the only child of his biggest business rival. It was a merger of convenience, a corporate takeover dressed in white silk and a $2 million our engagement ring. In that moment, watching him with her, something in me had finally shattered. Not my heart, that had been a brittle, hollow thing for a long time. It was the last shred of denial. I hadn't seen his face when they walked in together, him in his impeccable Romani tux, her in a scandalous white dress that was a deliberate, whispered insult to the hostess. I didn't need to see his face. I knew. He had brought his real love to the stage of our hollow marriage. I saw them sharing a private, intimate moment in the shadows of a pillar, her hand on his chest, his head bowed to hers. The humiliation was a physical blow, a cold, acidic wave that washed over me. The room sta route to spin. The next thing I knew, I was falling, the glass shattering on the marble floor, a sharp cry from someone who sounded a lot like my own voice, and then nothing. The darkness had been so deep, so peaceful. I was at the gala, I whisper, my voice trembling. How did I get here? The nurse's expression shifts into practiced sympathy. You collapsed, Miss Vance. A severe panic attack, your doctor said. It triggered a cardiac episode. A minor one, thankfully, but your family was very concerned. Your husband, Mr. Whitmore, he was the one who brought you to the hospital. Liam brought me. Of course he did. It would have looked terrible if he hadn't. My gaze drifts around the room, landing on the nightstand. There, next to a glass of water, is a sleek, black SMA phone. My phone. And the screen is lit up with a message preview. A message from Claire. I can see the beginning of it. Liam told me everything. It's over between you two, and you need to accept it. Be a grown-up and sign the papers. My stomach lurches. I reach for the phone with my uninjured hand, my fingers clumsy. I unlock the screen, and the full message unfolds. Papers. You knew this day was coming. You've just been delaying the inevitable. Let him go. It's the only decent thing you've ever done. It's over. He told her everything. He's probably already filing the papers, wanting to get this mistake of a marriage over with as quickly as possible so he can finally have his dream life with her. I look at my left hand. The beautiful, flawless, 6 carat diamond engagement ring is gone, a pale strip of skin on my finger the only evidence it was ever there. They must have taken it off when they admitted me. I feel a cold certainty settle in my chest. In my previous life, I would have fought. I would have cried, begged, manipulated, used every ounce of the Vance family influence to hold on to my name, my status, my pride. I had convinced myself that I loved him, that we could build something real. I had wasted years of my life in a cold, passionless mariage, a prisoner of my own pride and the insecurities my father had instilled in me. I was never enough. Not for my father, and never for Liam. A nurse enters, a kind-looking man this time. He helps me sit up, adjusting the pillows behind me. Mr. Whitmore is in the waiting room, he says. He's been here all night. He'd like to see you, if you're feeling up to it. My heart, that foolish, stubborn organ, still gives a pathetic little lurch. He stayed all night. But I know that's just the performance. The dutiful husband. I take a deep breath, the air tasting of stale disinfectant and a future I'm no longer willing to accept. Yes, I say, my voice steady now. Send him in. The door opens, and there he is. Liam Whitmore. In a rumpled tuxedo, his dark hair disheveled, the first hint of a 5 o'clock shadow darkening his jaw. He's still breathtakingly handsome, with the kind of classic, patrician features you'd see on a magazine cover. His blue eyes, usually so cold and distant, are reclouded with what looks like concern. It's a good act. The best in the business, Elena, he says softly, walking to my bedside. How are you feeling? Like I was humiliated in front of 200 of my closest friends, and then dropped on my head, I say, my voice as sharp and clear as I can manage. What happened, Liam? The last thing I remember is seeing you practically wrapped around your old friend Claire. He winces, a subtle, almost imperceptible movement that a younger Elena would have missed. His jaw tightens. Claire and I were just talking. She was upset. It was nothing. His voice is placating, tired. You're exhausted. The doctor says you need rest. We can talk about this later. Later, I repeat, a bitter laugh escaping my lips. There is no later, Liam. There's just now. How long have you been planning this? How long have you been waiting to trade me in for the trophy you actually want? I know the words sound hysterical, but I'm not hysterical. I'm angry. A cold, clear, crystalline anger. The anger of a woman who has finally seen the truth. He took a step closer, his concern suddenly turning to a look of focused irritation. Elena, you're not thinking clearly. Let's just get you home. There's nothing to get home to, I say, my voice dropping to a low, dangerous whisper. I saw your message from her, Liam. It's over between you two. Who told you I wouldn't see it? Did you think I'd just roll over and die? His face pales. He opens his mouth, but no words come out. For the first time since he walked into the room, he looks genuinely riled. Elena, that's not what it seems. No, then tell me what it is. Go on. I lean forward, the pain in my wrist a grounding, physical sensation that helps keep me focused. Tell me that you love me. Tell me that you didn't bring Claire to our anniversary gala just to throw it in my face. Tell me that the last 3 years haven't been a complete and utter farce. The words hang in the sterile air. The heart monitor continues its steady, rhythmic beep, a metronome marking the death of my old life. Liam looks at me, and for a moment, the mask slips. The weariness, the guilt, the resentment, it's all there. He doesn't try to deny it. He's tired too, I realize. Tired of the lie. He sighs, running a hand through his already disheveled hair. You're right, he says, his voice flat. It's not what it seems. But you're right about what it is. It's over, Elena. It has been for a long time. I'm sorry. His admission, spoken with such finality, should have broken me. In my old life, it would have. I would have felt the world crumble around me. But I am no longer that woman. I feel a strange, exhilarating sense of liberation. The truth, no matter how ugly, has finally been spoken. The cage is open. I look at him, this handsome, miserable man, and I feel nothing but pity. What a waste. A waste of his life, and a waste of mine. Good, I say, my voice surprisingly calm. Then there's nothing to argue about. I'll have my lawyer draw up the divorce papers. I won't contest it. You can have your precious Claire, the company, the house, all of it. He sta residential at me, utterly stunned. I see disbelief, and then, a flicker of something else. Suspicion. You're giving up just like that. He looks like he's waiting for the other shoe to drop, for the sudden eruption of a full-blown Vance family war. I'm not giving up, I say, leaning back against the pillows, a confident smile touching my lips. I'm walking away. There's a difference. My family's company is worth more than yours now, but I don't want the hassle of a messy divorce. You want a clean break. You'll get one. After all, you gave me the best gift of all. I hold up my left hand. You showed me the truth. He is speechless. He's never seen this version of me. The version that isn't a sobbing, desperate bride clinging to a loveless mariage, but a woman who knows her own worth. Just then, my phone buzzes on the nightstand. I glance at it. It's a news alert. The headline reads, Resurgent tech mogul Landon Pierce SPEA Riyadh's hostile takeover of Whitmore Group. Landon Pierce. The name conjures a face I saw in a business magazine a few months ago. A brilliant, ruthless, self-made billionaire. A man I'd always admired from afar, the polar opposite of Liam's inherited wealth and privilege. A man they said was terrifyingly smart. A man who had, according to the article, just orchestrated a massive stock acquisition of the Whitmore Group. I read the headline again, a slow, dangerous smile spreading across my face. A hostile takeover. He's taking over the company that was supposed to be Liam's inheritance. The company that, in a weird, twisted way, was the price my father paid for me to marry Liam. It was the deal, Liam's hand in marriage in exchange for a business alliance that boosted the Whitmore Group's falling stock. Now, it's being bought out from under him. By a man with no family connections, no aristocratic heritage, just a brilliant mind and an insatiable hunger for power. My phone buzzes again. A private message from an unknown number. Ms. Vance. I'm Landon Pierce. I have a proposition for you. I hear you're looking for a fresh start. I happen to be looking for a partner. Give me a call. I think we could help each other. Liam looks at me, his brow furrowed, trying to see what's on my screen. Who is that? No one, I say softly, closing my phone and setting it back on the nightstand. Just a business associate. He sta residential at me, utterly confused, totally unaware of the seismic shift that has just occurred. He thinks he's won. He thinks he is walking away from this marriage a free man, ready to pursue his true love with his company and his fortune intact. He's so arrogant, so sure of his own invincibility. He can't see the storm that's about to break over his head. A storm I intend to be right in the eye of. Get out, Liam, I say, my voice quiet but firm. I need to rest. He hesitates, his eyes searching my face. He sees something alien there, something he can't place. He looks like a man who's just realized he's been playing checkers while everyone else is playing a game he doesn't even recognize. Finally, he nods. I'm sorry, Elena. He says it again, but this time, it sounds hollow, like the last note of a dirge. He turns and walks out of the room, the door clicking shut behind him, leaving me alone with the beeping of the monitor and the stillness of the room. As soon as the door is closed, I pick up the phone. My hand is steady as I call the number. It rings twice before a deep, resonant voice answers. Ms. Vance. I was wondering when you'd call. You're a hardy man to get in touch with, Mr. Pierce, I say, my voice silky. I'm a quick learner. I've just been handed a golden opportunity. I think you and I can be mutually beneficial. On the other end of the line, Landon Pierce chuckles, a low, smooth sound that holds no rmth, I was hoping you'd say that. I have a plan, Miss Vance. It involves a quiet wedding at a registry office in 2 days. My company's rival is your husband's. What better way to humiliate him than to see his ex-wife marry the man who just took his father's legacy from under him? I stare at the blank, white ceiling of my hospital room. 2 days. It's insane. It's the most reckless, exhilarating, and strategically brilliant idea I have ever heroed. It's the ultimate revenge. It's not about Liam anymore. It's about me. It's about taking control. It's about burning my old life to the ground and building something magnificent on the ashes. I'll be there, I say. But I have a few conditions of my own. Name them. First, you tell me everything. Your plan, your timeline, your leverage. I won't be a pawn in your game, Mr. Pierce. I'll be your partner, or we have no deal. A pause on the other end. He's assessing me. All right, he says, his voice filled with newfound respect. I can work with that. As I hang up the phone, I look at my reflection in the dark screen. Pale, tired, but with eyes that are finally, truly, open. I have nothing left to lose and a world of opportunity waiting for me. This is my second chance. And I'm not going to waste it on a man who never saw my worth. I'm going to show him exactly what he's lost. I'm going to show everyone. The game has only just begun, and I'm ready to play. 2 days later, I am a different woman. The pale, broken creature in the hospital bed is gone. I stand in my penthouse apartment, the one I was so proud of because it was the first thing I'd ever bought with my own money, not my father's, and look at myself in the full-length mirror. The dress I'm wearing is simple, an ivory sheath that schemes my knees, more a statement of intent than a bridal gown. My hair, a cascade of dark waves, is loose, and my makeup is minimal, a slash of red lipstick and a smoky eye that makes my green eyes look like jade. No veil, no flowers. Just me. I'd walked out of the Whitmore mansion yesterday afternoon while Liam was at the office, with nothing but my personal belongings and the clothes on my back. I didn't want a single thing from that farce of a marriage. I wanted a clean slate. My phone buzzes. It's a message from my father, Richard Vance. Elena, what the hell is this I'm hearing about a quickie wedding to Landon Pierce? Have you lost your mind? Call me immediately. I delete it without reading it again. My father's opinion stopped mattering to me the moment I saw him smile as he shook Liam's hand at our wedding reception, a transaction concluded. He used me for his business. Now, I'm using myself for my own life. It's a fair trade that a sleek black car with tinted windows is waiting for me downstairs. I feel a flutter of anticipation, but it's not the giddy, nervous excitement of a bride. It's the focused energy of a general about to launch an offensive. Landon Pierce is waiting at the county clerk's office, a small, nondescript building a world away from the grandeur of the Whitmore family's private chapel. When I walk in, he's standing by the window, his back to me. He's taller than I remember from the magazine photos, with broad shoulders and an athletic build that speaks of discipline. He's dressed in a dark, impeccably tailored suit that probably costs more than most people's cars, but he's foregone the tie, the top button of his white shirt undone. He turns as I approach. His eyes sta Reitling, pale gray, like chips of ice. His face is all sharp angles and hardy lines, not conventionally handsome, but compelling, dangerous. Elena, he says, his voice the same low, resonant tone I heard on the phone. You're punctual. I find it to be a sign of respect, I reply, extending my hand. And efficiency. He takes my hand, his grip firm and brief. There's no spa arcade of romance, no flutter of attraction, but there is a recognition. A meeting of minds. I appreciate that. The papers are ready. No fuss, just a signature and a certificate. My assistant is the witness. He's efficient, I'll give him that. We stand before a stoic clerk who looks like she's processed 1,000 of these legal mergers. She reads the standard lines, and I find myself looking at Landon. IBA rely know him. I know he's ruthless, brilliant, and has a reputation for treating his employees well, but he's also widely fear-read. He's a man who doesn't play by the old money rules. He forges his own. He told me his plan over the phone after I got out of the hospital, in terse, efficient sentences. The attack on the Whitmore Group wasn't just a business acquisition. It was personal. His father had been a brilliant but naive engineer who had been driven out of business by a corporate raider decades ago. That raider was Liam's father, Edwa Road Whitmore. The old man had cheated Landon's father out of a patent, destroying his company and his health in the process. This hostile takeover is a long overdue act of vengeance, and me, the ex-wife of the heir, is the perfect exclamation point on his revenge. Do you, Elena, take Landon to be your lawfully wedded husband? The clerk asks that I look at him. He's watching me with those unreadable gray eyes. There's no love there, no passion. But there is an undeniable respect, and a red, secret purpose. I do, I say, my voice clear and steady. Do you, Landon, take Elena to be your lawfully wedded wife? I do, he says, his lips curving into a thin, cold smile. It's not a smile for me. It's a smile for Edwa Road Whitmore, wherever he is. The clerk stamps the form. You are now husband and wife. You may kiss the bride. It's the one part we hadn't discussed. Landon looks at me, a question in his eyes. Without a word, I take a step forward, and he meets me halfway. The kiss is brief, almost chaste, but it's a shock of electricity, nonetheless. Not passion, but a high-voltage current of pure possibility. We break apart, and I see a flicker of something in his eyes, surprise, maybe. He wasn't expecting it to feel like anything that now, he says, his voice a little rough, as he pulls back. Let's go make some noise. He doesn't mean a parody. He means a media storm. As we walk out of the county clerk's office, his assistant is already there, a phone pressed to his ear. He gives Landon a curt nod. The car is ready, sir. The press is circling, and they've caught wind of the wedding. Also, a statement from Mr. Whitmore Sr. was just released. Landon's smile is like a blade. Read it to me in the car. We slide into the back of the black sedan, and the privacy partition slides up, sealing us off from the world. The assistant, a young woman named Sa. clears her throat. It reads, this hasty and frankly, pathetic, marriage is a transparent act of desperation from a woman who has lost her claim to the Whitmore fortune. It is a sad attempt at revenge from a bitter ex-wife. We have nothing further to say on the matter. Landon lets out a quiet laugh, but there's no humor in it. He's on the defensive. Good. He hands me a tablet showing the news coverage. My phone is already exploding. My name is trending. Elena Vance, Landon Pierce, Whitney Gala collapse all trending. The photos are everywhere, a grainy shot of me lying on the floor of the gala, a limousine pulling away from the hospital with a blurry Liam inside, and a new one of me and Landon leaving the county building. The online comment is vicious. Woman scorned, gold digger upgrades, desperate Elena clutches at the new money. Some of my old friends are reposting emojis of crying laughter. It is brutal. Look at the stock prices, I say, reading the financial news. Whitmore Group stock took another hit. It's down 12% since our wedding was announced. Landon's smile is even wider. Precisely. It's a beautiful mess, isn't it? Panic creates opportunity. I've been buying the dip. By the time the sun sets, I'll own a significant portion of his precious company. And now, I'm publicly married to the woman he threw away. The media narrative is perfect. A story of triumph over humiliation. I set the tablet down. It's not a story of triumph, Landon. It's a story of survival. And we're just getting sta root. We head to his office, a sleek, minimalist space in a gleaming skyscraper downtown. It's the complete opposite of the Whitmore Group's old money, wood-paneled headquarters. It feels like the future, all glass and steel. Inside, the atmosphere is electric. A team of analysts, lawyers, and PR specialists is already assembled, working in a war room-style setup, monitoring the stock market and media coverage. Landon wastes no time. All right, team. Status report. Who wants to tell me what's happening in the Whitmore camp? A young woman, a sharp-looking analyst named Chloe, speaks up. They're in panic mode, sir. Liam Whitmore has gone to RK. He's not answering calls from the Boa Road. Old man EDWA Road is in a frenzy. He's called an emergency Boa RD meeting for tomorrow morning. They're trying to get a motion to raise capital by selling off a subsidiary REIT fast. Selling what? Landon asks, his eyes narrowing. Their Miami operations, Chloe replies. A real estate and hospitality arm. It's a lot of liquid assets, but it's a good chunk of their diversified portfolio. It's a last-ditch effort to stabilize. Landon looks at me. What do you think? I know you've seen their books. What's the real story with Miami? I feel a surge of pride. He actually trusts my opinion. In my marriage, Liam never asked me a single question about business. I was an ornament, a rich man's doll. It's a front, I say, my voice steady. The Miami ARM is hemorrhaging money. It's a vanity project of one of EDWARD's old friends, a development they've been trying to offload for years, but it's a toxic asset. No one wants to buy a sinking ship. If they sell it, they'll be taking a massive loss, which will signal weakness and send the stock even lower. Landon's eyes gleam. Excellent. Ra, get me a line to our contact on the Whitmore Boa Road. I want to plant a rumor that a Saudi sovereign wealth fund is interested in buying the company, but only if the Whitmore family is entirely replaced. Let's create a little panic. I can do better, I say, my mind racing. Liam's mother, Marga Rhett, is a trustee of the Whitmore Foundation. It has a significant stake in the company. She's always hated me. If she thinks I'm the reason for their financial ruin, she'll push EDWA Road to take even more drastic measures, like cashing out their personal Shaw residential to try and stem the bleeding. She's all about appearances. She'll see this as a personal attack. Landon looks at me with a new, almost predatory interest. You're a very dangerous woman, Elena Vance. Pierce, I correct him, holding up my left hand, where a simple, platinum wedding band now sits. I'm Elena Pierce now. And I'm just getting warmed up. As the afternoon wears on, the battle intensifies. My phone is a constant source of noise, but I ignore the calls from my father and the texts from my old social circle. I'm too focused. I work alongside Landon's team, using my insider knowledge of the Whitmore family dynamics. I know their weaknesses. I know where their body is buried. I reveal a specific detail about a shell company EDWA Road Whitmore used for a shady deal a decade ago. A small, untraceable detail that could cause a massive scandal. I'm playing the long game. I also send a single, strategic text to Marga Rhett Whitmore. It simply reads, "Your son destroyed his own life. Don't let him destroy yours too. I hope you find a way to be happy. It's the psychological equivalent of a hand grenade. I know she'll spend all night spinning, trying to figure out my angle, making paranoid phone calls, and spreading internal dissent. It's not about revenge. It's about power. By 8 p.m., the war room begins to quiet down. We've orchestrated a media narrative that paints me not as a desperate woman, but as a survivor who found her own strength. Landon's PR team has been feeding positive stories to gossip columns about my quiet philanthropy and my business acumen, which was always hidden. We turned my humiliation into a powerful, feminist comeback story. Stock in Landon's tech firm, Pierce Dynamics, had risen 8% on the news of our merger. The Whitmore Group had lost another 5%. It was a decisive first strike. Landon dismisses his team. He walks over to the floor-to-ceiling window that overlooks the city, a sprawling sea of lights. I join him. The silence feels different now, less transactional. How are you doing? He asks, his voice quiet. They were brutal to you today. I didn't realize the extent of the vitriol. I shrug. I've been living with that vitriol for years. I had to smile while Claire Davis called me a temporary arrangement at a charity luncheon last year. I've been called a gold digger, a climber, an ice queen. Today, it's just the same old tune. It doesn't hurt anymore. It just makes me stronger. He's silent for a moment, then he turns to look at me, those pale gray eyes studying my face. You're not what I expected. I thought you'd be broken. I was, I admit, the confession feeling natural. But I broke in a way that freed me. Liam broke the chains I didn't even know I was wearing. You offered me a way out of the rubble. I'm grateful for that. Gratitude is a dangerous currency, he says. This is a business arrangement, Elena. Nothing more. Don't mistake this for a fairy tale. I'm not, I reply, meeting his gaze. I'm in the business of building an empire, Landon. Not waiting for a prince. The tension between us is palpable, but not romantic. It's the tension of two equally matched competitors, of two people who have recognized a formidable ally in the other. We stand there in silence, looking out at the city that we're both trying to conquer. So, what's the plan for the next big move? I asked. We wait, he says. Let them stew. Tomorrow, EDWARD's BOA RD meeting will be a circus. FIA makes people do stupid things. We just have to be ready to capitalize on their mistakes. Or, I say, a new idea forming, we could give them an even bigger reason to panic. Liam and Claire are about to announce their engagement. It's been in the works for a week. He wanted to wait until the divorce was finalized, but after today, he'll want to rush the announcement to try and regain a sense of control, to show the world he's happy, that he's moved on. But it will look like a crisis move. The media will TR him APART for it. How do you know this? Because I know Claire's Instagram. I saw a photo she posted of herself on a beach, wearing a very suspicious-looking ring on a chain around her neck. It's an engagement ring he bought years ago. It's a family heirloom. She's been waiting to flaunt it. Landon lets out a low, appreciative whistle. You're a master strategist, Elena. I'll have my team prepare a statement to leak to the press tonight. We'll paint it as a sign of instability in the Whitmore camp. That their golden boy is more concerned with his love life than saving his company. The stock will be in freefall by morning. He picks up his phone to make the call, and I'm struck by the sheer, wild nature of what we are redoing. 2 days ago, I was a broken woman in a hospital bed. Now, I'm an architect of my own destiny, standing in a penthouse office with a man who might be my greatest ally. I'm not sure what I feel for Landon Pierce. It's certainly not love. But it is an intense, intoxicating blend of respect, admiration, and a red hunger for victory. It feels more real than anything I ever had with Liam. As the city twinkles below us, I realize my old life is being dismantled piece by piece. And I am not sad about it. I am relieved. I am electrified. My new life is terrifying and uncertain, but for the first time in a very long time, it is mine. I have a plan, I have an ally, and I have nothing left to lose. The wheels of our revenge are reset in motion, and I'm ready to see them turn. The next morning, the world is a different place. My name is plastered across every major financial news outlet, not as Liam Whitmore's disque-ride wife, but as the new Mrs. Landon Pierce, the tech TYCN's mysterious and brilliant partner. The morning papers ran the leaked story about Liam and Claire's engagement, and the headline across the business section is scathing: Whitmore heir accused of dancing amidst ruins. My phone buzzes constantly, but now the messages are from journalists, not my father. I ignore them all. I have a new life to manage. Landon's war room is buzzing with renewed energy. The night had been a strategic success. The Whitmore Group's stock was in a tailspin. EDWA Road Whitmore's emergency BOA RD meeting had been a disaster, leaked to the press by our mole. Reports described an ugly scene of infighting, with the family blaming Liam and Liam blaming the BOA Road. It was a beautiful, chaotic mess. Landon walks in, looking freshly showered and incredibly sharp in a dark grey suit. He's already on the phone with his personal lawyer, a hawk-like woman named Audrey. No, I don't want to take over the whole BOA RD yet. I want to give him enough rope to hang himself. Yes. Slow and steady wins the race. We want a story of a bleeding company, not a conquest. A dying company is more valuable to us than a dead one. We can buy it for pennies on the dollar. He hangs up and nods at me. Good morning, Mrs. Pierce. I trust you slept well, better than I have in years, I admit, pouring myself a cup of black coffee from the war room's Barista station. What's the latest? The BOA RD meeting ended with a screaming match between EDWA Road and Liam. Liam wants to sell the Miami subsidiary immediately, claiming it's his only hope. EDWA Road is stubbornly refusing, calling it the family legacy. They're at a complete standstill. Legacy, I snort. The Miami project is a money pit. It was his brother-in-law's idea. He's been trying to pump cash into it for a decade, and it's never turned a profit. If he forces it to stay, he'll just bleed the company dry faster. Precisely, Landon says, taking a seat at the head of the conference table. So I'm going to offer them a lifeline. A private loan. Enough to keep them afloat for a few months, but with impossible terms. It will be the final nail in the coffin. We need to do it before he announces the engagement, I say, thinking out loud. If we frame it as a rescue mission, and he publicly accepts it, he'll look weak to the BOA RD and Shari holders. It will make the engagement look like a distraction, a cheap PR stunt. Landon's eyes gleam. My thoughts exactly. But we need a face for this negotiation. Someone he won't suspect. Someone who can play the part of a concerned, impartial third party. My lawyer, Audrey, will handle the legal details. But I need a personal envoy to deliver the message. He looks at me. A heavy silence hangs in the air. That you want me to go, I say, the realization dawning on me. You want me to be the one to offer him the loan. It would be the ultimate irony, he says, a dangerous smile playing on his lips. His ex-wife, the woman he publicly humiliated, arriving at his BOA Rudrum in a chauffeur-driven car, not as a woman scorned, but as a business partner to the man who just married her, to offer him a chance to save his company. He won't know what to do. He'll either be paralyzed by humiliation or angry enough to make a mistake. Either way, it's a win for us. It's a risky play. It's deeply personal, and it exposes me to more public scrutiny. But it's also the perfect opportunity to completely sever any remaining emotional ties I had to my old life. I look at Landon, and I see the approval in his eyes. He's giving me the chance to not just be a bystander in my own revenge, but to be its architect. All right, I say, my voice calm and assured. I'll do it. The CAR ride to the Whitmore Group headquarters is surreal. The building, a towering monument of glass and steel, was once the symbol of my gilded cage. Now, it's just another piece on the Boa Road. I'm dressed for the occasion, in a razor SHARP navy blue power suit with a silk blouse. No jewelry except my platinum wedding band and a pair of small, diamond stud EA rings. I look like I'm here for a business meeting, not a war. The receptionist is new, a young woman who doesn't seem to recognize me. Ms. Pierce is here for an appointment with Mr. Whitmore, I say, my voice smooth. The use of my new name feels like shedding a heavy coat. She puts a call through, and moments later, a stern-faced assistant is leading me to the top-floor executive suite. The Boa Road room is a grand space, lined with mahogany and portraits of stern-faced Whitmore men. EDWA Road Whitmore is already there, a look of contained fury on his ruddy face. Liam is seated at the other end of the table, looking pale and angry, a dark bruise of exhaustion under his eyes. There are two other Boa RD members present, men I recognize as EDWA RD's old cronies. Elena, EDWA Road says, his voice dripping with contempt. To what do we owe this intrusion? I'm here to discuss the Miami operation, I say, taking a seat without being invited. I place a slim folder on the polished table. I have a proposal that could save your company from a complete collapse. Liam's head snaps up. His eyes are bloodshot, his jaw tight. You have no right to be here. This is a private Boa RD meeting. Technically, I say, my voice CL, I'm here as a representative of Pierce Dynamics. Mr. Pierce has authorized me to offer you a bridge loan. $300 million RS, at a favorable interest rate, to keep you afloat while you restructure. The only condition is that you immediately divest the Miami subsidiary and accept a Pierce-appointed advisor to your Boa Road. The room goes silent. EDWA RD's face cycles through a spectrum of emotions, shock, anger, disbelief, and then, finally, a reluctant flicker of interest. He's a businessman first, and $300 million RS is a lot of money. Liam, however, looks like he's about to explode. This is a joke, Liam says, slamming his hand on the table. You walk in here, the woman who married my enemy 2 days ago, and you expect us to believe you want to help us. This is a trap. The only trap you're in is the one you built for yourself, I reply, my eyes locked on his. I'm not here to gloat, Liam. I'm here because a SMART businesswoman knows a potential investment when she sees one. Your company is undervalued right now because of your own incompetence. I'm offering you a life raft. You can take it, or you can watch your family's legacy sink. EDWA Road leans forward RD, his eyes narrowing. And what's your personal stake in this, Elena? Why would you help us? I meet his gaze without flinching. Because helping you helps me. If you go bankrupt, the market takes a hit, and it hurts my husband's portfolio. This is a calculated business decision, not an act of charity. And I want the satisfaction of knowing I was the one who pulled you out of the fire. The woman you all treated like a decoration, the one you thought was worthless, I'm the one holding the lifeline. That's my stake. The room is thick with tension. The two Boa RD members exchange glances, Clea ROY uncertain which side to take. Liam is gripping the edge of the table, his knuckles white. EDWA Road, however, is studying me with a new, wary respect. He sees the game I'm playing, and he's trying to figure out how to turn it to his advantage. We need time to consider this, EDWA Road says slowly. This is not a decision we can make lightly. Time is a luxury you don't have, I say, pushing the folder across the table. The offer expires at midnight. If you don't sign by then, it's off the table. And I should warn you, there are other interested parties. My husband has made it clear he'd prefer to acquire your company piece by piece rather than keep it intact. You're not just choosing between a loan and bankruptcy. You're choosing between a dignified exit and a hostile dismantling. I stand up, smoothing my skirt. I'll wait in the lobby. You have until the end of the day. I turn and walk out without looking back, my heels clicking against the marbly floor with the steady rhythm of a woman who knows she's just dropped a bomb. The lobby is a study in anxiety. I sit in a leather A-room chair and pull out my phone, scrolling through the news. The story of my visit has already leaked. I see a headline flashing: Elena Pierce returns to Whitmore Group, rescue mission or gloat tour. The comments are resplit, some calling me a hero, others a vulture. I smile to myself. The ambiguity is exactly what I wanted. An hour passes. 2. I order a coffee from the lobby bar and sip it slowly, watching the security guards exchange nervous glances. The receptionist keeps looking at me like I'm a ticking time bomb. I almost laugh. They have no idea how true that is. Finally, the assistant returns. Mr. Whitmore will see you now. I walk back into the Boa Road room. Edwa Road is standing by the window, his back to me. Liam is pacing, his hands shoved in his pockets. The 2 Boa RD members have left. It's just the 3 of us now. We've decided to accept your offer, Edwa Road says, turning to face me. His voice is clipped, controlled. But we have one condition. We want a clause that prevents Pierce Dynamics from acquiring any additional residential of Whitmore Group for a period of 5 years. I don't flinch. That's not going to happen. The loan is contingent on full transparency and access. You accept my husband's advisor, or you don't get the money. Those are the terms. Liam stops pacing. You're a monster, you know that, the monster. I laugh, a bitter sound. I'm a monster because I refuse to be your doormat. I'm a monster because I dared to make a life for myself after you threw me away. Look in the mirror, Liam. You and your family have been trampling over people for decades. I'm just giving you a taste of your own medicine. Edward raises a hand, cutting off Liam's retort. We accept the terms. Prepare the documents. We'll sign tonight. Liam looks at his father, his face a mask of disbelief. Dad, you can't be serious. She's trying to destroy us. She's trying to save us, Edwa Road says quietly, his eyes tired. And right now, saving us is all that matters. We'll worry about the rest later. I feel a surge of triumph, but I keep my expression neutral. Good decision, Edwa Road. I'll have the paperwork sent over within the hour. I pick up my folder and walk out, my heart pounding with a victory that feels sweeter than anything I've ever achieved. By the time I return to Landon's office, the news is already breaking. Whitmore Group accepts Pierce Lifeline, Elena Pierce negotiates rescue. The media is spinning it as a power move, a testament to my business acumen and Landon's strategic genius. I walk into the war room, and Landon looks up from his monitor, genuine smile crossing his face. You did it, he says. I did it, I reply, setting the folder on the table. They accepted all terms. The advisor is in. The Miami subsidiary will be sold within 60 days. We have full access to their books. The company is ours for the taking. Landon rises from his chair and walks over to me. He extends his hand, and I take it. Partners, he says. Partners, I echo. But there's something in his eyes that wasn't there before. A rmth. A flicker of something that feels dangerously close to admiration, or maybe even affection. I pull my hand away quickly, unsettled by the feeling. The next few weeks a blur of legal documents, PR damage control, and strategic planning. The Miami subsidiary is offloaded to a real estate consortium at a significant loss, just as I predicted. The Whitmore Group stock slowly stabilizes, but the damage is done. Edward's health begins to fail under the stress, and Liam is forced to take over day-to-day operations, a role he's never been prepared for. Claire's engagement announcement is met with lukewarm coverage, overshadowed by the ongoing financial drama. Their fairy tale is already tarnished. Meanwhile, my new life is thriving. I start taking on a more active role at Pierce Dynamics, leveraging my background in corporate strategy to help Landon expand into new markets. The public narrative shifts. I'm no longer Liam's ex-wife or the woman who married the enemy. I'm Elena Pierce, the business powerhouse. I'm invited to speak at conferences, featured in magazines, and courted by investors who want a piece of my success. For the first time in my life, I'm not just someone's daughter or someone's wife. I'm someone. But success comes with its own complications. Landon and I are constantly together, in meetings, at events, in the war room, and the line between professional and personal begins to blur. He starts leaving coffee on my desk in the morning, his favorite blend, black with a splash of cream, just the way I like it. He touches my arm when he makes a point, his hand lingering a second longer than necessary. He laughs at my jokes, not out of politeness, but with a genuine warmth that I haven't heard from him before. I find myself noticing things about him too. The way his eyes crinkle when he smiles. The deep, low sound of his voice when he's focused. The quiet intensity he brings to everything he does. It's all alarming and exhilarating in equal measure, because I never expected this. I married him for revenge, not for this. One evening, after a long day of meetings, we're alone in his office. The city lights glitter below us, and the silence is comfortable, familiar. I'm going over some financial reports, and he's standing by the window, sipping a glass of whiskey. Elena, he says, his voice breaking the quiet. I don't look up from the reports. Thank you. For what you did today. The negotiation with the board was brilliant. It wasn't just me, I say, finally looking up. You gave me the tools. I just used them. He turns to face me, his gray eyes unreadable. That's not what I mean. Thank you for trusting me. For taking a chance on this. On us. I feel a knot tighten in my stomach. This is a business arrangement, Landon. You made that clear from the start. I know what I said, he replies, stepping closer. But I didn't expect you to become essential. Not just to the company. To me. I stand up, my heart racing. Landon, I don't think we should. Don't, he says, his voice soft but firm. Don't hide behind the business arrangement. I've seen the way you look at me when you think I'm not paying attention. I've felt the shift in the air when we're alone. You're not the only one who's noticed. I open my mouth to argue, but the words won't come. Because he's right. I have felt it. I've been fighting it, pushing it down, telling myself it's just proximity and shared goals. But it's more than that. It's becoming something real, something terrifying. I can't do this, I say, my voice really a whisper. I didn't sign up for this. I signed up for revenge, for rebuilding my life, for proving everyone wrong. I didn't sign up to feel vulnerable. Landon takes another step closer, so close I can smell his cologne, a subtle, masculine scent that makes my head spin. Vulnerability isn't weakness, Elena. It's the only way to truly live. You've been surviving for so long that you've forgotten what it feels like to just be. Let me show you. I look into his eyes, and I see it, the same fear, the same longing, the same desperate hope that I'm trying so hard to suppress. And in that moment, I realize I can't run from it anymore. Whatever this is, whatever it's becoming, I can't deny it. Okay, I whisper. But I'm red. So am I, he says, and then he leans in and kisses me. It's not like the kiss at the courthouse. That was a transaction, a performance. This is different. This is real. This is two people who have been circling each other for weeks, finally crashing together. His hands cup my face, and I reach up to grip his shirt, pulling him closer. The kiss deepens, and I feel a warmth spread through me, chasing away all the cold. Remember I've been we ring. When we finally break apart, we're both breathless. He rests his forehead against mine, his eyes closed. I didn't expect this, he murmurs. But I'm glad it happened. So am I admit, and for the first time, I mean it. The next morning, I wake up in his penthouse, tangled in his sheets, the city sun streaming through the floor-to-ceiling windows. He's still asleep beside me, his arm draped over my waist. I watch him for a moment, this man who root as a tool of my revenge and has become something so much more. I know this isn't the end of the story. Liam is still out there, nursing his wounded pride, and the Whitmore group is still a mess we haven't fully untangled. But for now, in this moment, I'm happy. And that's a victory I never expected to claim. 6 months later, the world looks completely different. I stand on the balcony of Landon's penthouse, our penthouse now, I suppose, looking out at the city skyline. The morning sun is just beginning to paint the glass towers in shades of gold and rose, and the air rise the crisp promise of autumn. I wrap my hands around my coffee mug and let the warmth seep into my fingers. It's a small comfort, but I've learned to appreciate small comforts. They're the only kind that last. Landon is still asleep, his breathing a steady rhythm from the bedroom. I smile at the thought of him, at the way his dark hair falls across his forehead when he's unconscious, at the vulnerability he shows only in those quiet moments. We've come a long way from the cold, transactional arrangement we root with. The business is still there, of course, it will always be there. But the line between what we do and what we feel has blurred into something I never expected. Something I'm still learning to trust. My phone buzzes on the glass table beside me. It's a message from Audrey, Landon's lawyer. The final acquisition documents are ready. Whitmore Group is officially under Pierce Dynamics control as of midnight. Congratulations, Elena. You've won. I read the message for a long moment. Won. It's a strange word. I don't feel like I've won. I feel like I've survived, which is different. Winning implies an end, a finish line. Surviving is a process, a constant, ongoing thing. But I suppose, in the eyes of the world, this is victory. The Whitmore Group, the empire that was supposed to be Liam's inheritance, is now ours. The last vestiges of EDWA Road Whitmore's reign have been swept away, replaced by the cold, efficient machinery of Landon's vision. And I helped make it happen. I set the phone down and take another sip of coffee. The memories of the past 6 months flicker through my mind like scenes from a movie. The Boa Rudrum battles, the hostile negotiations, the media frenzy. The way Liam's face crumpled when he realized he'd lost everything. The way Claire Davis, his precious true love, quietly ended their engagement once the money dried up. The way EDWA Road Whitmore, broken and humiliated, retreated to his estate and refused to speak to anyone. It should feel like justice. It should feel like vindication. And sometimes, late at night, it does. But more often, it feels like a chapter closing, nothing more. I hear footsteps behind me and turn to see Landon walking out onto the balcony, still in his pajama pants, his hair tousled and his eyes half-lidded with sleep. He looks softer like this, younger, less like the ruthless Tycn the world Fia RS and more like the man I've come to know. That morning, he says, his voice rough. He leans down and presses a kiss to my forehead. You're up, RLY. Couldn't sleep, I reply. Audrey sent the documents. It's official. The Whitmore Group is ours. He straightens, a slow smile spreading across his face. I was hoping you'd be the one to tell me. How does it feel? I consider the question. Strange. I thought I'd feel more triumphant. But I just feel tired. And maybe a little sad. Landon studies me for a moment, his gray eyes sharp despite the EARLY hour. Sad you have everything you wanted. The company, the revenge, the respect. What's there to be sad about? I don't know, I admit. Maybe it's the realization that revenge doesn't actually fill the emptiness. It just gives you something to focus on so you don't have to feel it. He's quiet for a moment, then he moves to stand beside me, his shoulder brushing mine. I felt the same way when I finally took down the company that ruined my father. I thought it would heal something. But all it did was remind me that my father was still gone, and no amount of corporate revenge would bring him back. I look at him, really look at him, and I see the pain he sees rise beneath all that confidence and success. We're more alike than I ever realized. We both lost ourselves in the pursuit of vengeance, and we're only now rooting to figure out who we are without it. What do we do now? I ask. Now that it's over, Landon wraps his arm around my shoulders, pulling me close. Now we figure out what we actually want. Not what we thought we wanted. Not what we were running from. Just what we want. I lean into him, feeling the solid warmth of his body against mine. It's a strange comfort, this. I spent so long fighting, so long pushing, that I forgot what it felt like to just be still. To let someone hold me without expecting anything in return. I want this, I say quietly. Whatever this is. I want to see where it goes. He turns to face me, his hands cupping my face. Me too. But I have to ask, are you sure this is what you want? Not because you're running from your past, but because you're choosing a future. I look into his eyes, and I don't see the cold, calculating stranger I'm alright in that county clerk's office. I see a man who's as broken as I am, who's been fighting his own demons, who's managed to find something real in the middle of all the chaos. And I see myself reflected in him, a woman who was lost, who found her way, who's still learning how to trust. I'm sure, I say. And I mean it. That a few weeks later, I'm sitting in a small cafe in Soho, waiting for a meeting I never thought I'd have. The place is quiet, all exposed brick and soft jazz, the kind of spot that feels like a secret. I'm EARLY, so I order a latte and watch the people walk by outside, their faces a blur of busy lives and unknown stories. The door chimes, and he walks in. Liam. He looks different now, thinner, more haggard, the sharp angles of his jaw more pronounced. His suit is still expensive, but it hangs on him like it doesn't quite fit anymore. When he spots me, he hesitates, then makes his way over to my table. Elena, he says, his voice uncertain. Thank you for meeting me. I gesture to the empty chair across from me. Sit down, Liam. He does, and the silence between us is thick with everything we've been through. I don't hate him anymore. The anger has faded into something more like indifference, which is probably the most dangerous thing of all. Indifference means I've truly moved on. That you look well, he says, trying to fill the silence. I've seen you in the papers. You've done amazing things with Pierce Dynamics. The credit goes to Landon, I reply. I just helped him see the bigger picture. He nods, and I see the flicker of pain in his eyes. He knows what I'm not saying. That I found something with Landon that I never had with him. That I've built a life that doesn't revolve around revenge or obligation. That I'm free. That I wanted to apologize, he says, the words coming out in a rush. For everything. For the way I treated you, for the way I made you feel. I was so focused on what I wanted that I never stopped to think about what I was doing to you. You deserved better. I take a sip of my latte, letting his words settle. You're not wrong, I say finally. You did treat me terribly. But I also let you. I stayed in a marriage that was never going to work because I was too proud to admit I'd made a mistake. We both made mistakes, Liam. But I've learned from mine. Have you? He looks down at his hands, and I see the shame on his face. I think so. I've been going to therapy. Trying to figure out why I did what I did. Why I couldn't just be honest with myself, with you, with anyone. He looks up, and his eyes are wet. Claire left me, you know. Once the money was gone. I wasn't surprised. I think I knew all along that she only wanted me for what I could give her. I just didn't want to admit it. I feel a pang of pity, but it's distant, like watching a stranger's tragedy unfold on a screen. I'm sorry, I say, and I mean it. No one deserves to feel used. He laughs, a bitter, hollow sound. You're being kind. You have no reason to be kind to me. I'm not being kind, I say. I'm being honest. We had something, Liam, but it was never going to be what either of us needed. We were both trying to fill voids that couldn't be filled by each other. I'm not angry anymore. I'm not sad. I'm just done. He nods, and I see the acceptance in his eyes. It's not relief, exactly, but it's close. I'm glad, he says. I'm glad you found someone who treats you the way you deserve to be treated. Landon Pierce is a lucky man. I'm the lucky one, I say, and I realize I mean it that we talk for a little while longer, about the company, about his plans, about what's next for him. He's thinking of STA rooting over, moving somewhere far away, trying to build something new. I wish him well, and I mean it. The anger that used to consume me is gone, replaced by a quiet acceptance. The past is the past, and I'm done letting it define me. When we part ways, I walk back out into the sunlight and feel the warmth on my face. The city is bustling around me, full of noise and color and life. And I'm part of it. Not as a victim, not as a survivor, but as a woman who took control of her own story. That evening, I'm back at the penthouse, king dinner for Landon. It's a small thing, but it feels significant. For years, I was too busy fighting to let myself enjoy the simple moments. Now I'm learning to savor them. Landon comes in from the office, loosening his tie, and the smile on his face when he sees me in the kitchen makes my heart skip. This is a nice surprise, he says, coming up behind me and wrapping his arms around my waist. What's the occasion? Do I need an occasion to CK for my husband? Fair point, he murmurs against my ear, but you're a terrible CK, so I'm assuming there's a reason. I laugh, swatting his arm. I'm not terrible. I'm just experimental. And anyway, I wanted to do something nice. We've been so busy, I feel like we haven't just been together in a while. He turns me around to face him, his hands on my hips. You're right. But we have time now. All the time in the world. I look into his eyes, and I feel the weight of everything we've been through, the battles, the betrayals, the victories. And I feel the lightness of everything we have ahead of us. The future is uncertain, but for the first time, I'm not afraid of it. I love you, I say, the words tumbling out before I can stop them. He's quiet for a moment, and I feel my heart pound in my chest. Then he smiles, and it's the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. I love you too, he says. I think I have for a while. I just didn't know how to say it. Then we're both learning, I say, and I lean in to kiss him. Later, after dinner, we're lying on the couch, tangled up in each other, watching the city lights through the window. Landon's hand is tracing lazy patterns on my arm, and I feel a peace I never thought I'd know. What happens now? He asks, echoing my words from weeks ago. Now that we've done everything we set out to do, I think about it for a moment. Now we build something new. Something that's ours. Not born out of revenge or obligation, but out of choice. Out of love. He nods, his chin resting on my head. I like the sound of that. We fall into comfortable silence, and I let myself just be. No more scheming, no more fighting. Just this. Just us. The next morning, I wake early again, but this time I don't rush to check my phone or prep a for battle. I lie there for a while, listening to Landon's steady breathing, feeling the warmth of his body beside me. And I realize that this is what I was fighting for all along. Not revenge. Not power. Not even justice. Just this. A moment of peace. A life I chose. A future I built. I get up and walk to the window, looking out at the city. It's still the same city, still full of ambition and struggle and dreams. But I'm different now. I'm no longer the woman who collapsed at a gala, broken and humiliated. I'm no longer the woman who married a stranger for revenge. I'm Elena Pierce, and I've built a life I'm proud of. It's not perfect. It's not easy. But it's mine. And that, I decide, is the greatest victory of all.